What to expect your first day, first week, and first month living out of your car. I'm going to share with you my experience and what I went through the first day, first week, and first month of living out of my car. I full-time live out of my car. I have for approximately 8 months. I live out of my Jeep Renegade. The first thing I want to say is, it's like starting a new job. When you start a new job, even if you work before, even if you have worked in the same exact field before, doing the same exact thing, the first day on the job, it's like everything's new. You're so unsure of yourself. You're a little scared. It's like, your words can't even come out of your mouth. Everything is like, everything's brand new. It's the same way. Your whole world is becoming brand new. So even though you have certain survival skills, you've planned certain things, the first day living out of your car, everything is going to be brand new. It's just going to be like the first day on the job. So know that it's human nature to be fearful, to be unsure of yourself, to totally freeze up a little bit. You have to figure out, the first day, the first couple days, how do you set up your bed in the car just the way you like it? Because there's nothing like, you may have tried it a couple nights, camping out at your house or whatever, but you got to really, get there, and you got to set up the bed, you got to set up the pillows, and, it's going to take a couple days to figure it out. The first day, the first couple days, you got to figure out, how do I put my window covers on? What type of window covers work? Because there's nothing like, setting it up in the middle of the night and doing it for a couple nights to figure it out. Where are you going to camp out? You have to figure out, you may have a rough plan in the beginning, but there's nothing like, actually, going to certain places to park, whether it's a national park, state park, RV park, a rest area, a friend's driveway, wherever it may be, a Walmart, BLM land, wherever it is. Now, what I want to say with regards to wherever you decide to park is you need to be legal. You want to be legal and compliant. Because even though you are living a nomadic life, living out of your car, you want to do things properly and you want to be a positive citizen. So dry camping at a national park, state park, overnight at Walmart, at a rest stop. Rest stops have certain time limitations, some of them on how long you can stay there. So you want to be mindful of all that because you want to respect your environment, right? You don't want to be at Walmart, you don't want to be at a rest stop and, you got your lawn chairs out, you got a picnic table, you got an awning. I mean, whatever no, that's not how you live. That's not how you live. That's not respecting your environment, all right? You have to figure out, where are you staying? Are you going to be moving every couple days? So whether it's a park, rest area, friend's driveway, wherever it's going to be. And I wouldn't stay in a friend's driveway too long because that's not healthy. But what I want to say is legal. You want to be legal. You want to be compliant. There's always a little flexibility in that, but you want to be a respectful citizen and, you want to be a positive part of society. You can do it. There's plenty legal, positive ways to do it. I've mentioned a couple, but there's other videos for that, but I want to state that. So back to the core messages. Again, the first couple days, you're figuring out stuff. You're figuring out how your car, set up. You figure out your window covers. You actually, camping out at certain areas. You're figuring out which ones you like, which ones in the middle of the night, there's a train running by or there's airplanes coming over. You have to figure all that out. And the first couple days, the first day people ask you where you live again, you meet somebody in a grocery store, say, oh, where are you from? And you freeze up, just like the first day at the job, you freeze up. Where does this go? You don't know what to say. Take your time telling people. Don't feel pressured to tell them, just like, you wouldn't tell most people where you live when you had a house for how many years or when you rented an apartment, whatever. You don't tell everybody where you live. You can say you live in this town, and if people ask specific, you don't have to tell them. Tell people when you're ready, unless it's obviously something that you need to, tell people. You have to be, respectful to the situation. So first couple days, you're in shock. Just like a new job, it's going to take a little bit to figure out. Now, the first week, the first couple weeks, it's a ping pong game. Ping pong. You're going from one location to the other. You may have changed window covers because the first ones you got on right. You may have to get different type of blankets. I had to get egg crates because the bottom of the seats, once I put the seats down, they weren't comfortable. So, you got over the initial shock and kind of like you don't know what to do. And now you're ping-ponging, this worked for a night, but it doesn't work for 2 nights. This worked for 3 days. Now you figured out it's still something you got to adjust. First couple weeks, ping pong. You're still adjusting to figure out routines and habits. Now, 21 days it takes. 21 days, they say, for the average human to form new habits. So, as you get into the first month, now you're forming new habits. Now you're getting a routine. Now you're settling in a little bit. As you get into that month and then a month on, now you are beginning to get somewhat of a flow. There is always going to be an evolution. Life is always about change and adapting. So there'll never be I got it, totally, this is it, and this is how it'll be forever. But once you get to that month and then you keep going on, now you have a flow. Now you've figured out routines, now you got new habits, and now you've kind of got a feel for living full-time out of your car. You got past the initial fear, you got past some, first couple of weeks of adjustment. Now you're in a flow. And once you go from there, sky's the limit. Or you can change your mind. Never forget, never be stubborn. You can change your mind and do whatever you want with your life. You want to go back to living in an apartment, you want to, do it, that's up to you. It's your life. Don't let anybody make you feel bad for that. But I want to say this. The biggest asset you have living out of your car, living out of a van, living out of a conversion van, or living in an RV, the biggest asset, flexibility, adaptation. The flexibility that you have totally outweighs the flexibility of somebody who lives at a fixed location. So there's a job in a different town, you have that flexibility. There's a problem in this area, it's not exactly, what you thought it would be. Flexibility, you can go to the next town. There's a natural disaster coming, flooding, fires, move to the next town. Flexibility is your number one asset. Never forget that. Because in the hard times when things get a little bit tough, use your asset. Remember your asset. That's what gives you a step up. Some people may not like, but I just want to say, flexibility, never forget it. Your number one asset, adaptation. Adapt and evolve, and there's a constant change. So all that being said, that's what I wanted to share. In my experience, it's just like starting a new job or anything new. The first day is total shock. You're going to fumble over your words. You're going to fumble over where you're going. First week or so, you're going to ping pong. There's going to be a level of adjustment, figuring out what works, what doesn't work, etc., etc. Once you get past 21 days, that's when people form new habits. You get into a month. That's when you have a flow. And that's when things go forward. And always remember flexibility, your number one asset. All that being said, whatever you do things with a positive tone. And be mindful of what you listen to, what feeds your spirit during, because it's a scary thing to start a new lifestyle. So be mindful of what YouTube channels you watch. Make sure they have a positive tone, not a gossip tone, not an unrealistic tone. Not that every time you see they talk about the nomadic life, they got their pet, they got a nice beat, it's all edited, and it's like they're living a carefree life. That's too optimistic. That's unrealistic. You want positivity, you want a level of entertainment, and that's okay a little bit, but have a well-balanced overall positive tone message. Watch the music you listen to. When you're scared and when you're starting something new, don't listen to sad songs too much. Listen to positive, uplifting things. Your friends, your family, the ones that are shocked or judgmental, you got to keep boundaries, man, because you don't need any more pressure on your soul. You have to maintain a positive outlook, especially in the beginning, until you get that flow, until you get past that month. So take your time telling people, watch what you say to people, and just, it's okay. It's okay. And again, do things in a legal, positive manner. There's plenty of ways. You're going to have to move. You're not going to be in a fixed location. But, there's different ways to be nomadic, to live out of your car. State park, again, national park, Walmart for a night, rest stops for a certain amount of hours or whatever it may be for that particular area. A friend's house for a couple days in their drive. There's different ways to do it. With a level of flexibility, but again, you want to be a positive citizen. You want to respect the environment, and you're not, being disrespectful to your surroundings. I think if you do that, you will figure out what works for you. It's different for everybody. Nobody's going to live exactly like you. It's about taking a little bit of this, taking a little bit of that, putting your own twist on it, and then designing your life for you. And that's a constant evolution. That's what I wanted to share. That's what in my experience what to expect and how to expect it. And I want you to stay positive. I want you to stay inspired and know that there's going to be ups and downs, but overall, keep pushing forward, keep going in a positive direction, and stay inspired.